Mic check. Oh, wow, that's overdriving. Check. Mic check. That might be better. We'll see. Doesn't look like it's overdriving it anymore, so that's good. Let's see. We need to get a filter. We need to get a lot of stuff set up. All right, let's add a compressor. And let's add a, where are you, noise gate? I have to lean way in and talk. Turn that off for now. So there'll be some background noise probably. I'm not sure my internet's. Maybe I should have hooked up the wired. Oh wait, does this? Actually, this doesn't even have wired Ethernet. Never mind. Let's see. Go to the other monitor. There we go. Looks like the chat window is working. I need some music. Music going. Mute that. See if we can get some Monster Cat or something up here going. Hey, Darkwind, just passing through. Yeah, it's a little bit of a test. I've been wanting to do some Workbench streams. I've done a couple in the past. I've got a little laptop now that's powerful enough to stream, and I've got a webcam that's decent. So we're going to try to do a little bit of electronic stuff here once we get started. This laptop is not very fast, but I think it's hopefully going to be fast enough. Hey, German soldier. I think it's going to be fast enough to stream. Barely. Come on, computer. Taking just short of forever to open that up. Okay, that's too slow. Forget that. It's going to take 3.5 minutes to open the browser page. We can just do no music. You can listen to my house background noise. I'm in a basement workshop, so it's probably going to be kind of echoey. Also using just the built-in laptop microphone. But let me switch over. I've also got the webcam. You could put a And y'all have to tell me which sounds better. So this is the built-in mic. Looks like I'm dropping a few frames here and there. I don't know if that's my internet or if the little laptop Wi-Fi is not the best. I'm going to switch over to the webcam mic. And I'll talk over here. I don't know which one of these sounds better. This is now the webcam mic, so we'll try that for a little bit. It looks like it picks up more background noise, so you'll probably hear me breathing and like banging stuff around on the workbench. And but you know, that's the way it goes. But I thought this might be kind of fun. I need to get some stuff kind of cleaned up a little bit here, and then I've got, oh, where did it go? My workbench is a complete disaster. Here it is. So we're going to work on this. This is a light controller I built for our mailbox, and it's doing weird. It's got RGB LEDs, and it's like not quite working. So I don't know if it's just a bad connection or something's went wrong in there. We're going to take a look at that. But as you can see, my workbench is a mess. I've been working on some old PCs, including an old Macintosh. I need to get some of this stuff out of the way. Got my drill there. Was putting up some light fixtures. And I don't know, if I get far enough away, this may cut out. The webcam mic is sharper. All right, thanks, Darkwind. I thought it might be because it's what is it? It's a Logitech. Hi. I can't see what kind it is. It's a nice like 1080p webcam versus just whatever crap mic they stuck in this Acer Spin. All right. Yeah, brand new power supply. Been working on some older PCs. That out of the way. Get a bunch of my tools put up. These actually go back out in my Garage Works toolbox. My family's pretty used to me talking to myself, so if they hear me talking to myself in here, it'll probably seem pretty normal. I've got crap all over here. So like I said, I've done a couple of these in the past. People seem kind of interested in it, so I thought I'd do it again. Here we go. 3COM 3C905. It's an iconic network card. It's also ancient. I was actually working on an old, I've got an old Power Mac G3 for any PC nerds that might be listening. And I was trying to get BSD on it. And it's just being really weird, so I don't know. It may have hardware issues. We can get enough of this crap out of the way that we can kind of work on something. So bear with me. Lots of background noise. Say it would be upside down, but I could. Here, let's go for a little tour. Can I unscrew this? It might be a bad idea. Oh, there we go. Hang on, everybody. Let me get like a wider shot here of the old workbench. So there's my little laptop I got going. As you can see, the workbench is a little messy. I've got all kinds of projects and crap. That's my 3D printer stuff piled on it right now. Behind me is a laser cutter with a temperature controlled box on top of it. Bunch of parts over there. Tons and tons of parts, but yeah. This is the workbench. We're going to be working on stuff. We're going to kind of zoomed in on the engineering mat here. Get tighten back up. Okay, and I should change my mute button so it mutes the right mic. Still dropping a few frames here and there. Not sure why. Let's see, hotkeys. little laptop screen is so small. I have to resize all the windows so I can hit OK. There we go. Now I can mute the right mic if I need to. Alrighty, let's see. Let's get the docs. Is it this one? I'm dropping a few frames. I'm kind of wondering if maybe the laptop Wi-Fi is just not quite up to par. Nope, up there. I want to go over here. There we go. Now I can see who's out there. The mat is out of square. Actually, the camera, well, this is a little out of square, yeah, but the camera is out of square with the Workbench. All right, let me get a little more stuff cleaned up. I gotta get this cable back up here. I've got the cable like draped over the boom arm. I've got the camera on a mic boom arm. Oh man, a pile of hard drives. Here's my computer screw tray. I used to have a computer store like 20 years ago. Ran a computer store. I still got screws from that. And they come in handy once in a while when I'm working on a PC. Those put back where they go. I'm gonna go dump this in the trash. Whoa, hang on, laptop. The rest of the stuff on there I don't care about. Mostly solder detrimus. Pointed out for the chat hate, yeah. Oh, now I'm off square actually. It's pretty close. I think. Why are you so tight, boom arm? Come on down. See if I can get this. The problem is now I'm creating a shadow from the lights up above, and that's all right. No, we don't want to show my crotch. There we go. What's my bit rate? Yeah, bit rate looks okay, but it is dropping a few frames here and there. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's start getting this thing apart, and then I can kind of remember how I built it, and then we'll see if we can get it to work. So this is see if I can kind of explain what I got here. This is the right platform. You'd be surprised what you can find out there. Go to the just chatting section. Anyway, if we can quit dropping frames for a second. This is a clear plastic tube, and there's RGB, if I can get to focus, there's RGB LED little segments glued to it. So this hangs vertically down inside of our mailbox. We have like a brick mailbox with clear glass blocks on the side. And then this makes pretty colors because that's what the wife wanted. So I built it because I'm an electronics nerd. So that's the light portion, and then it plugs into this controller. So let's get this thing apart. And where'd my other screwdriver go? I guess I put up all my screwdrivers. There we go. And it's in kind of a weather-tight box that I found. So it's sealed up, but it gets like well over 100 degrees in the mailbox in the summer, and of course, you know, freezing or below in the winter. So this thing has faced a lot of extremes, a lot of moisture. It's very hot and humid inside the mailbox. It's not in the mailbox part, it's in the body of the structure that holds the actual mailbox where the mail goes. About welded itself together. You can see it's got kind of like a rubber seal around it. So it keeps the moisture out of here, it looks like. I don't see anything that's like corroded on the inside, which is good. Kind of surprised this little LiPo has survived. I gotta remember what's in here. So there's a LiPo battery, and if you can see, I'll kind of try to explain. I don't know if you guys care, but the phrase was "wife wanted it." Yeah, exactly. And why buy something when you can make it for 4 times the cost? No, I had a lot of this stuff on hand because I do electronics for a hobby. But I don't know how many of you care, but I'm going to explain what this is, and we'll see how it goes. If you have questions, let me know. But you can see there's a board right here under all these wires. This is a solar charge controller. So on this pigtail here, which yes, that's a PC power connector, old school, for you PC nerds out there. It brings in power from a solar panel that's mounted to the outside of the mailbox structure. That power comes into this solar charge controller, which then manages the battery and also powers this little microcontroller, which is the other board right here with all the wires on it. And then it's kind of hard to see, but there's another little board right here with a little springy antenna. Doing, doing. That's a little radio module. So when I first designed this, I was going to just use a microcontroller with Wi-Fi support. But it's far enough away from the house and it's inside a brick mailbox that I just couldn't get a reliable Wi-Fi signal. So I went with these little RF, I think they're 433 megahertz. So basically it does serial over radio signal. So you put data in this end and it comes out the other end. So over in my basement data center, there's another little microcontroller with one of these, and it's on the network. So it talks to my network, and then it talks to this light controller out in the mailbox over this radio link. So there you go. That's that. So the question is, why did this quit working? I have a feeling it's just corroded connections, because this pigtail, if you can see that, this is a little 3-pin connector, and that's what goes out to the RGB LEDs. And that used to be a red wire, that pinkish gray looking thing. This is taking a lot of sunlight, and it also looked like this connector was pretty well corroded. So I'm going to take this connector apart and we're going to take a look at that. And I don't know how well you guys can see. This is the first time I've used this webcam here on the Workbench. So let me know if you can't see good enough, or if you need to change the microphone or anything. This is a test. I'm not going to do these a lot, but it's kind of fun for me, and some people will probably be interested in it, to do some electronics type stuff. Maybe do some PC repairs or something like that as we go along. But let me get, I need to get a little screwdriver. We're going to take apart that connector and take a look at it. I would imagine it's pretty corroded. I've just got a big drawer here with all my hand tools in it, so I gotta track down my, where's my little screwdrivers? There's my little Phillips screwdrivers. I've got my, where are you? Random banging noise in the background. Talk amongst yourselves. Somewhere I've got a little sharp pointed flat bladed screwdriver. Of course, all I can find is Phillips. I need like a portable can I could take you guys over here. Sure, I'll be fascinated by the pile of tools in my drawer. Riveting stuff. Now that might work. It's somewhere. I don't see it. I must have moved them somewhere. Huh. Somewhere I've got some little bitty flat bladed screwdrivers, but I don't see them. But I've got that. I've got an X-Acto knife. We'll grab that one. And then I've got I've got a kit here with like little bitty blades on it, so that should work. Yeah, unfortunately that's about as low as the camera wants to go. This might just work with the X-Acto knife. I could use that for a stand to get this a little... Let me get this stuff a little closer to the camera. More random banging around in the background. Hard drive's falling everywhere. I'm going to use this as a stand. This is actually a control panel for my flight simulator. It's got switches and stuff. I've been working on that. But it sets up about, you know, that far, so I'll use that as like a miniature workbench here. Go viral, yeah. Some random old fart in Missouri on his workbench. I'm sure that's viral material. So these little guys, this should come apart if it's like most of these connectors. And I'm old and I'm up close, so I gotta actually take my glasses off. Then I can squint to read chat. So these little, you just gotta push in on the little retaining pin here. And then it should slide out. Operative word there being should. Yeah, there we go. So pull these out. And I used to have some electronics cleaner, but I might be out of that. I haven't used it in a long time. Yeah, I'm a little nervous using that X-Acto knife for that. Let me see if I can... Let me get a little small-bitted flat blade here. That way when I stab myself, it'll be a nice jagged wound instead of a clean cut. Yep, that's actually just the right width. Come on. Nope, just having none of it. Okay, well, how about your neighbor? Your neighbor wants to come out. It's all up to you now, green wire. Come on. Yeah, that was really in there. I think part of this connector might have melted in the sun. So there we go. We got the wires out. Focus. Now I have to put my glasses on so I can read chat. Yep, us old farts. Power making all the way down those wires? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, power's not an issue. It's just the colors and stuff are kind of like random on the RGB LEDs, which tells me there's a problem with these connections right here. Because they're addressable. I forget what kind of bus it is, but basically you have two power, voltage and ground, and then you have a signal wire. And it sends a serial stream of data down this one wire. And then each LED knows like what position in the chain it is, so it gets its own data, if that makes sense. And it probably doesn't come through well on Twitch. I need to get my lighting situation better, because all the light right here is getting blocked by the camera above it. But these connections here are pretty corroded.
how to defuse. Yeah, we can actually turn it on. See, there's the little indicator lights. If those come through, yeah, they kind of come through on the camera. This little red, that's a red light. I don't know if you can tell what color it is. The blue light is like I have power. This little red light here is a status light. So my code that's running on here actually runs that, and if it comes on and stays solid, then the code is working basically. So I'm going to see if I can clean these contacts up a little bit with my X-Acto. Actually, before we do that, let me try something. Let me get some jumper wires, and we'll hook that up, kind of bypass the connector, and then we'll see if the lights work. But I'm gonna have to fake it out because it has a light sensor on the outside of the mailbox, so the light only comes on when it's dark. And somewhere around here I have a test pigtail that hooks up to this, and it has a light sensor on it and wires for power. I need to see if I can find that too. Let's see here. Let's go red on there. Pretty sure it was red and green was power for the LEDs, but I can check that. Hey, what's up, Genetic? How's it going? I'm doing a little electronic stuff today. Probably doing some gaming later. But right now we're doing some electronics. And the acoustics, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm in my basement workshop, and the workshop is in an unfinished part of the basement, so it's probably really echoey and stuff. All right, do we have voltage? So we should get, we're actually getting a little bit of bleed voltage. This isn't turned on. When I turn this on, we should get 5 volts. Or is it 3.3? I forget. Yeah, we're getting 4, so it's not terrible. I don't know what state the battery is in. Battery might be a little low. And am I getting any signal? Let's make sure that's not shorting out. Yeah, that'd be good. How to catch the fire live on Twitch. Yeah, we're probably not going to see anything voltage-wise there, because that'll just be data if it's actually addressing the LEDs. I could get out the oscilloscope, but I don't think we need to dive quite that deep yet. But let me grab the light string over here. And I think, like, I've got a control page where I can go. The other microcontroller that talks to my network, it has a little web page built onto it, and I can control stuff through there. I think I have like a test mode where it will ignore the light sensor. So we might have to get that going. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. I know, again, this probably doesn't translate well to Twitch, but these are the connectors that this other pigtail we just took apart plugs into. And I can tell they're really corroded. So let me get my X-Acto knife. I need a little miniature sanding stick. That'd be perfect for cleaning these contacts. I'd have to make one of those. The right thing to do would be to replace this connector with like a weatherproof connector, you know, one that's designed to be outside in humidity. I just used what I had. I don't even know what this is off of. It's just something I had in the junk box. Or a dental pick. A dental scraper would be pretty nice. I forgot, these are super close together and they're inside of like a shield, so I can't really get the jumpers on there. So I'm just going to clean these up the best I can by scraping them with an X-Acto knife, and then we'll put that other connector together and we'll see how we're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of corrosion on these. I need to get on like Mouser or somewhere and find a weatherproof connector. Starting to see some shiny metal. An eraser actually works good if you can get an eraser to it, but this is down in there, so can't really get an eraser to it. All right, go away test jumpers. So let's see if we can kind of do the same thing with these. If I can get the inside of these. The inside of these doesn't look too bad. I think it was mostly the pins on the male part of the connector. Yeah, these actually look pretty good. Okay, I take that back. This one is super dirty. The green one looks really good. The signal wire is super dirty, which would explain why the LEDs are not getting addressed properly. I can see there's something on chat, but I can't read it. Let me get my glasses. What are we working on, Genetic? Hey, Genetic for you and the people who might be joining. This is a light controller for my mailbox. So we have a brick mailbox. In the body of it, on 3 sides is glass blocks, so you can see it. You know, it's if you put a light inside, it shines out. If that makes sense. So my wife wanted cool lights in there, so I built this. This is a clear tube with clusters of RGB LEDs, which basically means you can set them to any color, and that hangs down inside the mailbox. And then this is a little controller here. It's got a battery, a solar charge controller, because there's a solar panel outside on the mailbox to keep this battery here charged up. And then there's a little microcontroller in here that runs code to set the LEDs what color I want. It has a little RF module here that talks back to the house over radio to another microcontroller, which is on my network. And that way I can get status from this and tell it what to do, that kind of thing. This will run standalone. You just can't change any settings unless you talk to it over the radio, if that makes sense. And it's been out in the mailbox for 4 or 5 years. And it got to where sometimes the LEDs would just be wonky. And I'm pretty sure it's because this connector was corroded where it sends signal down to the LED string. Because it's not designed to be an outdoor connector. It's just something I had in my junk box when I built this. So we're cleaning up the contacts, and we're going to see if that helps. And this ground connector, I might have bent that a little bit when I was taking it apart. All right, now let's make sure we put these back in the right order. So we need red on that side, right? So if we're coming in from that direction, this used to be yellow. Need yellow and then green in the middle. And then red. Or pink as it is now because it's faded. I'll just make sure that's right. So if this gets plugged together, all the colors match up. All right, beautiful. We have light. I'm not sure it's the right light. Yeah, it's fading. All right, cool. So by default, no, it's gone wacky again. Ooh, do I have a break in the cable here? That's probably not coming through on Twitch like at all. But it's a blue color now. It's been fading from red to green to blue. By default, it just does that. It just fades through the entire RGB color spectrum. So it's mostly working right now. Cut the blue wire. Now it's fading to a pink. It's not translating through the camera well at all. Yeah, see if I wiggle this connector right here, so that's our problem. That's the only problem. It's just a connector. If it doesn't get a clear signal, the LEDs get confused. Because there's a constant stream of data coming down this data wire. And it's just a chain. So it comes in here on the bottom. And it goes through each LED cluster all the way down, back around here to the end. This is the end here on top. And it's just a constant stream of data. And the controller knows, it's a protocol. I can't remember what protocol these use. But it knows basically how many LEDs it has. So it sends a big stream with commands for all the LEDs, and then it starts over and sends another big stream of command for all the LEDs. It's just constantly refreshing LEDs, telling them what color they should be. So any interruption to that, and it goes wonky, as you can see. So yeah, I just need to replace that connector with something weatherproof. And it looks like it's confused enough with no light sensor that it's making the lights go. So that works. I don't have to do test mode or anything. So I'll have to order a good connector. But it's okay that it's out of the mailbox. We've had really hot weather. And, you know, this is a LiPo battery. They're not supposed to get hot. This one's gotten really hot. If you can see that little bitty blue thing right there, that's a thermistor. Basically a resistor that changes its resistance based on temperature. So that's a temperature sensor for the charge controller. So it knows if the battery gets too hot. You know, don't try to charge it. Everything in here looks great. So this weatherproof box, all this stuff in, all of this stuff is in, has worked great. There is zero signs of corrosion or anything on the inside of here. This has been inside of Mailbox for like 4 or 5 years, with anywhere from 140 degrees to 10 below throughout the year. Well, it all looks good. So nothing really needed there. I'm going to button this back up. That has worked great. I know I had to have this battery kind of at a specific angle so this would all fit in here. The solar charge controller is actually the biggest thing in here. It's huge. It's got a great big power jack on it. I could have made this smaller with a little more work. But I already did a lot of work, as you can see. Let's see. Let's make sure. So this is a weatherproof box, project box I got. And it's worked really well. Been trying to set up a form of CCTV. Oh, yeah, cool. How's it going, Hellbound? Yeah, I don't remember where I got this solar controller. You can find them all over the place. But it's just a little tiny circuit board, and it takes in power, and it's designed to hook up to these LiPo batteries. Works a treat. And it's got some data pins on it, so the microcontroller can actually read the status of the battery from the solar charge controller via the status pins. Just making sure this rubber seal here is all good. And if I remember right, is this keyed? Yeah, it's keyed, so it only goes in a certain way. So there's the ridge, so it goes like this. Just need to make sure that batteries get in place here. It's kind of a tight fit, and I don't want to pinch this open because then it'll catch on fire, and that would be bad. There we go. Close up of my hand. That's good entertainment right there. Pro streamer. Plastic on plastic. It's a little squeaky. I don't have any plastic safe greasing in here. I'd put just a little bit on these threads. That's okay. They'll stay nice and tight. I don't want to over tighten them. All right, let me take these apart. Oops. I'll say that connector is a good connector, and then the middle wire came out. It's a good connector if you put it back together, right? I need to bend up this little tab just a bit that catches it in there. There we go. So yeah, I'm glad there's nothing wrong with anything. And this has stayed all good inside the box, so that's awesome. I haven't inspected this since I put it in. It's just been sitting there working. I didn't get that battery pinched, did I? I'm a little concerned I got the edge of this battery pinched in the plastic. Yeah, it's in the... All right. Take this back apart. How about another thing you can do for cameras is I forget what it's called, but there's a webcam app for, you just put it like an old cell phone. An old cell phone that has Wi-Fi, and it uses the cell phone camera. So that's another cheap option if you got a bunch of old cell phones knocking around. I played around with that. I was going to have it for like a wheel cam when I'm doing streams with my steering wheel. I never got very far with it. Oh no, that's sitting down inside there. Oh, but this goes inside, so it's pushing on that. Oh, okay. I had this in here at like a specific angle that worked. I gotta find that angle again. I just don't want that rubbing on the battery. That would be bad news. I had you... Is that too tall? Kind of flops around in there, but it's better than rubbing, because this doesn't move once it's hanging inside the mailbox. Well, I do have... I guess I didn't... Where are you, mouse cursor? Oh, you're on the monitor. Come here. Woo! Hi! I forgot I had this set up. You can see my scruffy face. Whoop! There we go. So I do have a face cam on there. That's just the integrated webcam on the laptop, which has no white balance at all. I actually don't quite glow this bright. Come here. There we are. Okay, I thought I'd muted. I don't glow this brightly in real life. Rubbing is racing. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know if we need to see my face all the time, but I do have that on there. So how many different... Why do I have 3 different microphones on here? I just noticed. This is the first time I've used this setup really, so still figured things out. You'll look at audio. those are. Where's bench cam coming from? Sound settings. Huh. I don't know where that's coming from. Weird. Go to advanced audio properties. So if I unmute, no, that's not weird. It's like it has a microphone on the video source, but the microphone I'm using is also another audio source. Yeah, whatever. OBS is being weird. But it's mostly worked. We've dropped about 2,000 frames. And that might be because I'm running this on an Acer Spin, which is like a little tiny baby laptop from like 2017. That is just powerful enough to stream with. Mostly. Alright, that's buttoned all back up. We still have power. Awesome. Get a new connector and that will be good to go. I was trying to remember. Yeah, I did get these. I need to get this. Next time I fly, I need to test out this. This is just a giant wooden box I built out of particle board. Oh, I guess that Raspberry Pi is not fastened in there. Then it has a Raspberry Pi and it's talking to all these switches and knobs and encoders and stuff. Oh, it's going to be upside down. Well, it's really heavy because I built it out of particle board. That's my flight sim control panel. Interfaces with X-Plane when I'm flying. It's just fun to have actual clicky switches and stuff to fly with. So that was my temporary workbench. Let me get that out of the way. So I kind of want to work on this Power Mac G3, but you guys wouldn't be able to see anything I'm seeing on the screen, so that probably doesn't make any sense. What else have I got here? Let me get this put up. Oh yeah, I've got this motherboard. Hey Munchkin, I'm streaming from in here. What's up? Oh, I'm just working on Workbench stuff. I'm talking to Twitch people. What are you doing?
Watching.
Just hanging out? Okay. My daughter's hanging out. So this was in an old PC, and it started acting strange. Like some of the USB ports wouldn't work, and it was just being weird. Well, I got to looking. If this will focus. Focus! There's a couple of capacitors that have blown and are leaking, which is not coming through on the camera at all. There's this one and this one have vented. So I was going to take those off. I don't know if I have replacements, but they're easy enough to get. So to do that, I need to get the old soldering iron. Where's my solder station? I think is it in the box? I moved it somewhere out of the way. Oh, there it is. It's sitting on top of the old stereo. So bear with me. Let me get my solder station out here and plugged in. More random background noise. I'll get those capacitors off there. Maybe. we'll see. Sometimes these multi-layer circuit boards can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Here we go. Hi, chat. How's it going? My daughter's looking at it like, whoa. I don't want to be on camera. Better stay over there. Yeah, this camera, this is just a little camera right there on the top of the laptop, and it has no white balance control at all. It's completely freaking out. I'm actually pretty tan. All right, let's see if we can get this. This should just be easily findable on the back. So it's going to be next to that choke. It should be right there. No, we're going to have to go hotter. It's a thick board. Need to top up the magic blue smoke. Exactly, Darkwind. All the blue smoke escaped. Alright, it's this one. Just over from that choke. It should be these two right here. Come on, get hot. It's not wanting to heat up at all. It's definitely hot. Not sure it's flowing. Let me get my solder. The tip is clean, but it doesn't have much solder on it. I don't think it's getting good thermal transfer. Come here, you. All right, so I'm going to put it on. I'm going to show my daughter here too. I'm going to put a little drop of solder on there. That'll hopefully interface better with the capacitor I'm trying to get off here. Get some heat in there. These multi-layer boards. Yeah, I don't want to leave it on there very long. Let's crank up the heat a little more. These circuit boards, like in motherboards and things, they're usually like at least 3-4 layers in between fiberglass. It's not just a top and a bottom layer. There's usually a couple other layers inside there. So there's a lot of copper plane probably connected to this capacitor, so it's being a little stubborn. Make sure it tips nice and bright. Come on. Heat up. Man. Not getting enough contact, I guess. Okay. Let me flow some solder on there. Maybe it's just so dirty it can't get on there. Let me get my little wire brush. Hopefully this doesn't have any loose stuff on it. I don't want to tear up too much. Alright, I'm tired of looking at my shiny head. I'll turn that off. Yeah, I swear the solder's like not even wanting to stick to the solder on there. There we go. Finally got a little bit of heat going, I think. There we go. Got one leg up. Just walking it out a little bit at a time, and there we go. It's free! That is a 6.3 volt, 2700 microfarad. And they're gold rated. I forget what there's like a higher class rating on that. That's why it's gold. I don't know if that comes through on the camera. Autofocus. So we got that one out. And I'm wondering, I can kind of see. Looks like this one is the same value, so I don't have to really mark down which one is which. Let's see if this one's going to be just as stubborn. It should be those two right there. Slipped. Yeah, I have to get some solder on those pads. It just doesn't want to get enough surface area and get the heat flowing. There we go. Don't need to breathe those solder fumes. If I do much soldering down here, I've usually got a fan going to get the fumes dissipated. Oh, she's being stubborn. Came partly out. Here we go. Now it's walking out. Beautiful. Got that one too. And you can see even the rubber on the bottom is poofed out. So those cooked off and they're causing issues. Before I forget, I'm going to turn that back down to where I usually have my iron. And I looked at this the other day, but I'm just going to take another quick look. I don't see any others that have vented. It's usually the ones up here around the power, where the power filtering and stuff is, that go bad. Yeah, everything else is looking good. So if I replace those, then I can get, a few more years out of this thing. It's not super awesome. I don't remember even what CPU it's got. Like a couple gigahertz, something or other. Older Core 7 or something like that, I forget. But, it's good enough for a server or something to play around with. Let me take a quick look. I don't think I have any of those gold caps, but I used to have some in stock. I don't know if you can even hear me over here. Is a little meter move? Munchkin, see that little green meter that's moving when I talk? Does it still move when I'm over here? Okay, then that means they can hear me. Let me look in. Yeah, I think I had them in a special drawer because they were the high dollar capacitors. So I'm just digging through my parts stuff here real quick. I don't know if I still would have any around because it's been years since I've fixed a motherboard. I'm not seeing any in here anywhere. So I'll probably have to order some of those. At least they're the same value. You don't have to get a minimum order of 2 different types. I've got a lot of miscellaneous crap in here, but I don't see any gold capacitors. Gold rated. Alright, well, I'll have to order those, but hey, at least I got them off. I know what value they are for sure now. So there's that done. There's just some miscellaneous stuff I wanted to do, and I wanted to test out this little laptop, so it's working pretty well. I'm going to set this back over here where it was. Let's see, what else is sitting over here on the to-do list? That might be about it. I think I fixed that Bluetooth thing. Yeah, I think that's about it for projects today. How long was that? Oh, it's about an hour. That's a pretty good little test stream. Appreciate y'all hanging out. We'll do some more of these here and there, but most of my content's gonna still be gaming as I have time to game, and I'm gonna try to do that tonight. I'm not sure what time. It's a little after. It's afternoon. This clock's wrong on there, I think. Yeah, my laptop says 12:29, but it's 2:29. So probably later on this evening, tonight, we'll do some gaming. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you lurking with me while we did some Workbench stuff. And let me get up here. I can say goodbye. I can wave to this camera and I can wave to that camera. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.